and that's what we need to be. We need to be students from the cradle to the grave. It's not about, it's a sad thing, but it's not what we want. It's not that, I went and studied for, in Syria. I did my time, now come and treat me like the big sheikh. Now I'm going to tell you what our mashayikh, told us, that you have to have good adab. And it's like, oh, you're mashayikh. And they're not learning anything. And this person's not learning anything. And he's just telling people basic commonplaces about the ulum, which, a good beneficial knowledge, but what seems to be more important than real knowledge is just the enactment of this kind of hierarchy of, I'm the alim and I'm the sheikh, and you're the humble laymen who are trying to improve your religious knowledge. While you live out your lives in the worldly bad modern world. And we need discourse which is empowering. We need people who will commit to years and years and years and years. We need learning from the cradle to the grave. And we need to really nail certain issues. It's not about making ourselves feel better. It's not about being able to go to bed feeling that our iman is safe, and we don't really have to think about that worrying thing anymore, because someone gave me a half-an-hour lecture where he cried and beat his chest, and now I feel better about everything. And don't look at that kafir philosophy. It's all we have everything in our tradition, and we need serious answers. The problem that we face today is not so much a problem with the so-called awam. It's actually a problem with the khawas. You can't go to, and it's not their fault necessarily. It's because our knowledge structures have encountered a world that they didn't know about before. They don't fully understand. And so often the response can be reaction, that's what you sometimes find, that we save ourselves from that danger by creating a bubble of piety, where we don't really look at that too carefully. We adhere to the outward prescriptions of our deen, and of course that's very important. And we have to work out whatever solution is feasible given our circumstances. But none of those kind of band-aids, none of those tawadih type solutions can ever be ultimate solutions and really fully adequate solutions, which, I don't want to be trite and say for the next generation, but even for us, we might be stuck here for another 30, 40 years. Do we really want the discourse to remain on that level, where, we don't have, we gain our kind of sharaf by intisab to Cambridge and Oxford and Harvard and things. We don't have our own traditional high-level institutions in place where, a lot of our so-called Islamic universities are really third-rate secular universities with a bit of Islamic studies on a kind of worksheet. They're not even reading. We're talking about nafs al-amad here. What is our real tradition? Who are our real ulama? We're also faced with the fact that as many of people I feel very, very certain and are acknowledged as great awliya, I'd be very lucky to meet many of them. Sadly, very little rubbed off, as you can tell. But the awliya and the great masters do not want to appear in this time. They're going into hiding. They can't. The situation is becoming so extreme that I can't account for their decisions or what leads them to that. And it's of course the divine guidance. But what we know is that very few of them. They need to have a special vocation now in order to be able to appear, and it's very difficult for them because there is so much confusion, there is so much willful misunderstanding, there's so much you know, we're going through ahwal of eschatological phenomena. So, and that's true. It's also true about the intellectual tradition. That's why one must be not suspicious or anything like that. And we always maintain adab. But when you see something that's waving the flag of everything's absolutely fine, look at our wonderful ulama, and look at our councils and our conferences and our things, and everything's being taken care of, and we've got the silsila, we've got the tradition, we've got the transmission, it's all in place, nothing's wrong, it's all absolutely fine. And you know, just come to us and we'll give you everything, and you'll have the, you should be a little bit nervous about that, because we are in an analogous situation to the poor man who, you know, got hit on the head very hard and then woke up and couldn't remember what happened, and then, you know, he starts piecing together everything, and that's very much the situation of the Muslim world. We took a terrible blow and we don't really remember what happened, and what's been lost. And I think, you know, isolation to some degree, not isolation, but to some degree, knuckling down and not necessarily worrying about fitting into whatever current happens to be available now, but looking, you know, for the longer term is perhaps something that, inshallah ta'ala, by God's grace, will yield beautiful results. That's what they tell me in any case. Maulana, Man, would you mind concluding with a prayer which will bring some barakah to the cold environs of this city.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. اللهم اغفر لنا كل الذنوب واستر لنا كل العيوب وتب علينا يا مولانا لنتوب. اللهم بقدرتك على كل شيء اغفر لنا كل شيء ولا تحاسبنا على شيء ولا تحجبنا عنك بشيء. اللهم يا خالق كل شيء بقدرتك على كل شيء لا تحجبنا عنك بشيء. واكشف عنا هذه الحجب التي حجبنا بها أنفسنا عنك يا أرحم الراحمين ويا أكرم الأكرمين. واغفر لنا هذه الذنوب التي حجبتنا عنك يا أرحم الراحمين. سبحانك قد أكرمتنا وتفضلت علينا وأسأنا إلى أنفسنا فيما بيننا وبينك، فتولنا بفضلك وجودك ومنك وكرمك وإحسانك، ووفقنا إلى ما تحب وترضى، والطف بنا فيما يجري به القضاء. واغفر لأمة سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وتجاوز عن أمة سيدنا محمد، واجعلنا هداة مهديين على نهج سيد المرسلين. اللهم إنا نسألك من الخير كل عاجل وعاجل ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم، ونعوذ بك من الشر كل آجله وعاجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم. اللهم نسألك من خير ما سألك منه عبدك ونبيك سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وصحبه وسلم وعبادك الصالحون، ونعوذ بك مما استعاذ به عبدك ونبيك سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعبادك الصالحون، وأنت المستعان وعليك التكل، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلي وسلم وبارك على حبيبك سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. باستئثار الفاتحة.
جزاكم الله خيرا everyone. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.